All right, what's up, everyone? Can you? Oh, yeah, mic is plugged in. Okay, what is up, everyone? Good morning. It is August 11th, known as Monday, 2025. Here we go. Also, I look like 10 years younger, at least 10 years younger. But the big reason for why I wasn't shaving is I left my shaver in Washington, and my mom grabbed it from me when she went back. So, let's see. I'm trying to refresh YouTube chat. Why is the YouTube chat not showing up? That's weird. So, anyway, I'm logging into Tradeovate. And, yeah, let's do this. I genuinely don't know why YouTube chat is not working. Okay, here we go. So, nope, YouTube chat's just still not working. Let's see if I can get it out on my phone. Let's see. Okay. Got it on my phone. So, anyway, I don't know why it's not refreshing on OBS, but now I have it set up on my phone. So, let's go ahead and, yeah. So, I took a break even trade actually last night, and that's why it says not -9. And, you know, I hate when that happens where it says negative numbers, but it wasn't against my rules. Totally allowed as long as on Friday I still had trades left over from Friday, which I did. So I took this trade, which would have hit all TPs. Where was it? How do I switch this? But unfortunately, I got stopped at break even. You can clearly see here I got stopped at break evened out, and then we go hit all TPs. I woke up to that, and so it's like obviously cool to see that. Yeah, my trade that I outlined did hit all TPs, but also definitely bummer that it was break evened out. But yeah, this one ended up hitting all TPs. And you can see how perfectly we come back up, induce all these highs into the new day opening gap perfectly, right? This is like literally perfect. Perfect inducement of these highs into the new day opening gap. And then we go straight from the new day opening gap down to that fourth standard deviation and those low resistance lows. And yeah, you really can't make that up. So I did plan this trade out last night. You can see that I tried to take this, but I did get stopped at break even. And yeah, anyway, could I have just held it? Yeah, maybe. I was being conservative though, but I did think this was pretty nice. And in the future, I might just try and wait for this inducement entry, because this inducement entry, like just waiting for the inducement later on, after you've kind of just moved down a little bit and chopped around, this is going to be a lot cleaner of an entry, and we go straight to TPs. So entering on inducement, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of my new favorite way to enter these flow state trades, because it's just going to be a lot cleaner, straight to TP. You don't have to chop around. These are the kinds of trades I want to take, where I just take a flow state as an inducement of old highs, and then it just plummets. That's kind of what I want to work towards, is getting trades like this where I really only take the flow states as inducements, where I'm already inducing these highs. And then, but yeah, like I was saying. Anyway, let's move all the drawings. And I need to blow my nose. I don't know. You guys probably hear my voice. It's like super stuffy. But I definitely find it cool that we did go hit all TPs for that trade that I outlined. I mean, generally, like, this is before, this is after, right? And we perfectly go back up and induce those highs into the new day opening gap. Does that look random to you? No. No, that's why I'm never giving up with trading. I just have to get better. Like, if I just entered on the inducement, if I just waited to enter on the inducement of these highs after we had, framed the model a little bit more, this would have been way cleaner of an entry. So definitely considering just waiting for an inducement entry later on. Oh, yay, finally. Chat's finally showing up. Good. Okay, so I can officially see chat. Okay. Alright, so we got chat working. We should post news for the day. There's no news, actually. It's Monday. But, Guadam already posted the news for the week, so now we just have to post news for the day. So let's go ahead and do that. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at it, see what we got going on. Let's go ahead and screenshot what we got going on. So, yeah, no news Monday. Apparently Trump speaks at 10 a.m. Okay. I mean, I don't know how relevant that's gonna be, but maybe we should just put it in just in case, right? Now there was yellow folder. I need to get better at understanding, like, when is yellow folder gonna matter and when is it not, or it doesn't even matter at all. I feel like it doesn't. But anyway, where's Discord? News today. All right, there we go. So now let's go ahead and switch the screen. I kind of want to have the big screen, and then I'll just tell you guys if I see SMT. So here's our big screen. Actually, let's switch these. So I'm going to have this one be right here. And then this one be right here. Okay, now I'm going to switch them back. There we go. Okay. So, alright, let's see what we got going on. So, yeah, higher time frame. We've been moving higher. Yeah, let's just take a look at literally just everything in general. Kind of feels like this was a, Well, I'm not gonna say anything. What I was gonna say, this could end up being CRT, right? Now, higher time frame is really bullish. We have this 4-hour gap. We want to rebalance the discount. We need to go down to here. Okay, let's look at SMTs. So I'm looking at my other screen now. I'll actually just switch it over. So, looks like we have bullish SMT here. That's pretty significant. Okay, what about bearish SMTs? Right, the only one was this one. It was like in the middle of the night. But we have this giant bullish SMT. We have a bearish SMT with YM here. Okay, that's the most relevant one, probably. So let's go back to the screen. And guys, I do want to get better at doing the short form videos every single day. Just gonna take some time to get in that routine, but I would like to do that. Now, this is a 1 hour gap, it's a 15-minute gap. Oh, we should check session highs and lows. Oh, we have a decent London and Asia above looking pretty nice, but we also have London and PM below that are looking pretty nice. So we're kind of in between two liquidity pools right now. And then we're also in between two SMTs. So this is not looking super obvious. Right, we got both of these SMTs. We got session highs above and session highs below. So looks like definitely a higher time frame consolidation. See what I mean? How the market's just consolidating right now. So that's typically what happens on No News Mondays. Right. Oh, look at that. S&T right above midnight. That is interesting. Do you guys see that? See that purge of midnight? That's right there. That is very interesting. And as well, like if I zoom out on the chart, I believe we're within the 4-hour BPR. But we're also within this 4-hour gap. And we could be revisiting this. That actually would seem very possible. So we might need to end up filling this 4-hour for buy gap. But once again, guys, I'm just getting ideas. Last night we had 1-hour CRT, and you can see that got completed right here. That was something I was looking at. Now we did get this 1-hour CRT. Yeah, we just gotta, pay attention. Look at both sides. Higher time frame is bullish. Yeah, it definitely feels like we're range bound. Might put this in my journal because I kind of want to delete this off my chart. It's just a little too much. There's too many lines. Okay, I got rid of it. So now we kind of know that that's all there. Okay, let's just try and not overcomplicate it. Let's just look at what's going on the lower time frame. On the lower time frame, we have a bullish S&T. With this low. And we have another S&T with this low with YM. Okay. See, now that's interesting. S&T here. YM. and SMT here with ES. Once again, we still have a lot of liquidity above, right? London highs, Asia highs. Our time frame is bullish, so. But then again, you never know. Once again, guys, I'm going to be waiting for market open. I'm just kind of just looking around, observing price action. Just kind of taking notes, putting it in my journal. Because once again, all this is just kind of just mental notes for my brain. So that way, by the time the market opens, it's all in my brain, and I know exactly what's going on in every little aspect of the market. We have measure this out. 15-minute for value gap here. Actually, let's do this one. Yeah, 15-minute for value gap and discount. It's a BPR actually. Now here we could actually get something. This is looking interesting, right? 15-minute for value gap and discount. It's a BPR. It's also a 1 hour order block. Once again, we have 1 hour CRT to the upside. I guess I never said that. Now this is looking kind of nice. Now then again, I like to trade specific candles, like, the 10 a.m. power 3. That's kind of like, I learned that from Kane, that's kind of, that's one thing that you really want to do is trade specific candles or a specific range of time. Do we still have SMT here? We have SMT with YM here. So the one SMT that's still holding is the SMT with YM. That's right here. I just like taking notes and putting it in here. Oh, we tapped the daily manipulation level. That's interesting. Yeah, let's keep looking. So, yeah, that's a nice 15-minute discount BPR. Wow, look at London. Whoa. Right from the session manipulation level to the session distribution level. That was perfect. Oh my gosh. Wow. Session manipulation level here for today is down here. So, if I'm looking to catch New York's range, it's possible we could manipulate into that and distribute, you know? Daily manipulation level was tapped. I think that's probably what I'm thinking is going to happen is we need to purge these lows into the New York statistical manipulation level. We have this 1 hour order block, we have this 15-minute gap. It's two different PD arrays. It's S&T with YM will probably hold. And then we go down, purge that. Bring this up one. And yeah, fair value gap partition right here. That's actually pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. The fair value gap partition just right below price action, and we have a volume balance within that. Yeah, I like that. So there's your volume balance within that fair value gap partition. And yeah, that's pretty clean, right? That overlaps with that New York statistical manipulation level. So yeah, fair value gap partition from here to here. That's interesting. That is really interesting. So if we're anticipating manipulation, it's possible that that's where we might end up going. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. Okay. So okay, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. So once again, this is kind of like probably gonna be really sensitive if I had to guess. So, yeah, let's keep looking around, taking screenshots, taking notes, figure out what we got going on. Once again, I think it's very, very interesting that this New York statistical manipulation level perfectly overlaps with this 5-minute volume imbalance. And we have SMT. To be honest, I think maybe a 30-second change state delivery off of that would be an excellent trade. I mean, this is going to be most likely going to be very sensitive because we got both of these levels overlapping with each other. What are the new day opening gaps? They just don't exist today, huh? Oh man, yeah, look at that. All the way up there. So, interesting. It's kind of far away. Oh, let's check. Yeah. Once again, let's screenshot this. I find this very, very interesting. 5-minute volume balance overlaps perfectly with New York manipulation level. That is really interesting. Hey, what up? Good morning, Hyper. Right now, I'm just looking around, taking notes, taking screenshots, putting it in my general section of my journal. I'm not really looking for anything in specific other than just looking around, taking notes. The most interesting thing I've found so far this morning is we have this New York statistical manipulation level and this 5-minute volume balance perfectly overlapped with each other, and I find that somewhat interesting. So maybe a 30-second change state delivery off of that, sweeping these lows, would be pretty strong. But as always, I'm just gathering more information. Let's see where the regular trading hours gaps are. Wow, there's like yesterday we had a wow. This wasn't yesterday. This was on Thursday. We had a really nice one. And honestly, guys, I need to start putting all my notes in here, like every morning, because the more that I can just take notes and just plop them in there, I mean, the less cluttered my actual chart's going to be, and then I can, from there, I can take, okay, which of all this random crap that I put in my notes is going to be useful and which isn't going to be useful. And so I think the more I can put in my notes in the morning, the better. So I can just get everything out. Like, for instance, I could have drawn out this RTH gap on Wednesday, and then I would have been really set for bias. This was a really nice way to have bias for the morning. Giant RTH gap. Now, today, right, we're going to have to wait and see where this RTH gap will open up. So this was the close. So let's see where the current price is. So yeah, okay, this is going to be interesting. The RTH gap will most likely be above us. The RTH gap will most likely be above us. I mean, almost certainly. once again, that new day opening gap or new week opening gap or whatever from all the way back here. I don't remember, what this is. Was this a new day opening gap? Looks like it was a new day opening gap. Projected out, you can see the market is holding this so far. The more notes I can take, the better. As well, it's a 1 hour gap. That does not mean that we can't go sweep that low, but right, we might need to come down and sweep that low and we'd fill this, but I don't know if that's for sure what would happen, right? Just observing. If I'm not sure, obviously, I do nothing, as always. So now we have 15-minute CRT. This is looking very, very bullish. Just based off of how those candles closed. So, okay, 15-minute CRT. Here's the close of this candle. This is the one I would use personally because this is the one where it's the most obvious. So there's CRT low. Once again, 15-minute gap right here. We had an old volume imbalance right there. You see how perfectly that was respected? Wow, that's crazy. So honestly, we probably don't need to go any lower. Looks like that was, that was very sensitive. So 15-minute for Vigap. We got CRT, volume imbalance, SMT with YM. Right here. So now we have 1 minute change state. Then CRT high here. Right, because 15-minute candles, let's pull this up, right? 8:15, 8:30. And then these two are kind of the manipulation ones. Now we got 5-minute change state delivery as well. M long in long but on evals. Nice. I'm looking for something very specific. So I'm going to take notes of this, screenshotting this, right? We have very specific 15-minute CRT candles, very specific. So now, right, if we have 15-minute PD arrays, here's that close of this 15-minute candle. 1-minute change state delivery seems like to be pretty strong here. We also have SMT with YM, right? I might go ahead and I think this is pretty strong. I think I'll very much consider taking this if we get a retest of that. Once again, this is the close of those two 15-minute manipulation candles. So anything below this is strong. And as well, right, this is a liquidity sweep break of structure for value gap. So it's like a lot of confluences overlapped with each other. I'm very interested in taking this. Let's see if this overlaps with the fair value gap partition. Right, liquidity sweep, break of structure, fair value gap. Yeah, I think this is, let's just go, I would just enter in this fair value gap with your stop below the low. That's what I'm going to do. This is 2022 model. So, 8 contracts. I mean, the thing about this is it is before market open, but I don't know if that, I don't think that matters, to be honest. 8 contracts. I mean, we already got that CRT. The volume balance was really, really sensitive. 8 contracts times 9 accounts. So 718. I'm gonna try it. Well, it's definitely not 718 on my screen. Alright, what is this? 8 contracts, 8 times 9 is 72. Okay, I put a buy limit in. So I'll go break even at this high.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Alright. once again, 15-minute CRT. I'm very okay with this trade. And then standard deviations. I feel like you just gotta take the risk. I think it's pretty good. So I'm gonna do 2, 2, 2, and 2. It's just that simple. 2, 2, 2, and 2. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta take risks, man. So I'd probably go break even at those highs. And then, yeah. So I will go break even at that first standard deviation if we hit it. So 918, 36. Nine, 18, 36. Wait, what? 9, 10, 6? 54. Okay. Let's see if we can at least hit break even. Like, part of me is just like, I should go break even now, but I don't think so. Let's just wait for the actual break even spot.
Stop filled. Order filled.
All right, closing out trade debate. What? Am I good? I'm fine. Obviously, no. I just took this trade. It was a loss. So okay, 2 minute walk. All right, I'm back. Yes, guys, I took a loss. Let me show you my other screen. I liked it. I think, it's just before market open. I think there's a lot of times before market open, you will, you're taking on additional risk because you're taking a trade before market open. But we swept out these lows. We had 15-minute. I'm here now. So, here's what I was looking at. We had 15-minute CRT, right? We sweep out all these lows. We have we perfectly react off of this volume balance. We have a 15-minute fair value gap and discount. And yeah, we got 15-minute CRT off of it. So, drawing out the close. Okay, there we go. There's the close. I was thinking, okay, we could probably expand up to the CRT high. So, drop down to lower time frame. Well, we have 15-minute fair value gap, liquidity sweep, 1-minute change day delivery. All right, this overlaps with a 2022 fair value gap. All that aligns. So, I'm going to go long here. So, I go long here with the intention of taking profit at each standard deviation of that 1-minute change day delivery. And you can see I just get stopped out. I don't even get my break-even spot, unfortunately. So I'll just journal it. I think one of the big reasons that it was a loss is because it was before market open. You just got to be careful with those. But I personally think the market's always right, and there's something to learn from all of these. And every time you take a loss, there's always something to learn. Unfortunately, I can't take another trade. I have to be done for the day, according to my rules. And yeah, sometimes you just gotta take risk, and then if you lose, you're gonna learn. And obviously, I'm kind of sick of it, but whatever. We need to get that Judas swing first, clearly. Yeah, I think we're gonna go for all-time highs as well. So anyway, there's a lot to learn from that trade. I'll journal it. Definitely kind of annoyed, but whatever. It's just one day at a time. You know what I mean? Looks like this ended up being accumulation, manipulation of this high, and then now we're distributing down. Probably a Judas swing, right? This is probably a Judas swing. I do think the higher time frame is bullish. Once again, unfortunately, I have to be done for the day. But I will listen to that because guess what? In the long run, is one loss going to really matter? Is this one day, one loss, going to really actually matter that much? Not at all. Not at all. It's such a long-term outlook, and if you try and think, oh, yeah, I'm going to keep trading and go until after this, you're just gonna fail. So I will trade on demo. If we get something that I like, I'll just practice. I'll just treat today as like a practice day, right? But I did take that loss, unfortunately. And as well, unfortunately, I had a really good trade mapped out last night. You can see that I had this mapped out last night. We had a 4-hour gap, 4-hour BPR. We had SMT delivering from a new day opening gap, 15-minute change day delivery. So I had all of these as my TPs. And you can see this trade actually ended up hitting all those TPs, but I got break-evened out. Went break-even a little too early. And this was a trade that I took last night, and I got break-evened out. And you can see how perfectly we come back up all the way into the new day opening gap, perfectly induce these highs above the change state delivery at the new day opening gap, and then go run all the take profits. So, like I always say, guys, one day at a time, but man, sometimes you just kind of go, like, there's just always something to learn, and yeah, definitely, definitely wish I could, yeah, hit this trade last night, but it ended up being break even, and I'll learn from it. So we have S&T with YM here. So Judas swing just occurred. Looks like we got a 3-minute CRT here. Accumulation. So one rule that's really helpful is, just don't trade before market open. And a lot of the time, you will do better. Like, genuinely. Now, the issue with that is I have seen trades work out that you can take before market open. And sometimes they end up being bangers, right? Because market open will oftentimes deliver us to wherever we want to go. So there's a balance to it, right? And obviously I want to be smart, but I tried to do what I thought was best in that situation. I took that trade, and it was a loss. And so I will learn from it. I could have maybe been a little more clean, but it is what it is. So now we have 3-minute CRT. I'm watching now that we close back within this candle range. So CRT low with S&T with YM. S&T with YM. So now CRT high. It's a lot easier to trade once you're not trading your real accounts anymore. Obviously, it's not super amazing that you take a loss, but allows you to trade pretty stress-free and keep going. So here we have the close here. So now look at that, we're delivering up. There was our Judas swing. So 3-minute aligns with the 15-second. So there we go. That was kind of our optimal entry point down there. So here's where that 3-minute CRT closed, and you can see all of this was optimal entry territory before continuing higher. So now draw on liquidity, CRT high. And as well, so 3-minute aligns with the 15-second. I guess it wasn't, there needs to be a PD ray for the 3-minute, but whatever. So now it looks like we're drawing towards CRT high. Looks like we'll get a 1-minute inversion after market open. It's very simple 1-minute inversion for value gap, accumulation, manipulation, and now distribution. So, man, this is just such a simple trade, and if I just waited for it, yeah, probably would have worked out. This is gonna work, guys. Very simple trade here. Well, we did not get that close. So this kind of seems like a liquidity sweep of these lows. So we swept out these lows, and then we broke this high, and now this kind of seems like 2022 for value gap and discount. So I think this will probably hold. Right, I'm gonna try it. Because this is sweep, break of structure, fair value gap. What? I don't get it. What? Why did it put it in a sell position? What? Okay, never mind. I don't get it. I don't know what just happened. But you guys saw that was going to be my entry, right? Man, I don't know what glitch just happened on that demo account, but yeah, something weird just happened. You guys saw that, right? You guys saw how we had liquidity sweep, break of structure for value gap. Now we're having expansion. You guys see that? Liquidity sweep, S&T with YM. And once again, the key is this was after market open. This is when you want to see the manipulation happen. So there we go, manipulation, liquidity sweep, break of structure for value gap. Once again, I'm treating this whole, and even though it's not literal for value gap, this whole area between here and here, this is a gap. That's the gap that I'm using for the 2022 model. Now, what is this? What just happened? But yeah, you guys see how that works, right? You see how it was like going to enter right there? Liquidity sweep, break of structure, that gap. Once again, why did this one fail? Why did this one fail, guys? This was before market open, and I'm probably gonna be done taking 2022 models before market open because, I mean, it's just such a pain. Like, they obviously just fail more when you take a 2022 model before market open, and yeah, not super fun. So I did not mean to do. I meant to do micro contracts. So why is it not letting me put an order? Okay, I wanted to put an order there. Why is it not pulling up the little button? Why is the button not there? The button to order a contract. I don't know what's going on. So once again, I was gonna take another position here in this fair value gap. Can it let me? Won't let me buy MNQ for some reason. Who knows why? But like I said, right, we broke this high, so then this fair value gap is another 2022 gap that's got decent probability to hold. It's also a 1 minute change state. So these equal highs are a strong target. Once again, entry number 1 was right here. You guys saw me try and enter, and then it freaking glitched. Entry number 1 was right there. Very obviously. You see how the market respected that? Entry number 2, right here. And where's our drawn liquidity? Top of that accumulation. Now, I tried to enter the trade early in the pre-market. That was stupid. Should not have done that. Lesson learned, right? Obviously, not super happy that I took the loss, but we learn. We learn every single time. And yeah, anyway. So do you guys see how the market just remembers these imbalances like a paint roller? Like if I go, what? I want to get rid of everything. This is too much. But notice how I don't trade after I take a loss. I just accept that I did a bad trade, and I just move on, and I don't take another trade. That's because I really just want to be profitable long term. Okay, so one thing that's really interesting is this right here, 930, 931, 932. So this is the first presented for ViGap right here. So we inversed it. We inversed the first presented for ViGap. So it's possible we end up back testing it and then 5-second change state delivery off of it. Kind of want to practice on my Trade-of-8 sim account. So let's practice on my Trade-of-8 sim account just for fun, because I don't know. Practicing on TradingView is kind of pointless because it just doesn't feel real to me. I'd rather just practice on an actual Trade-of-8 account. So if we get a trade, we're gonna execute it exactly like we would on our real accounts, just on this demo. And what do we got? MNQ, yeah. So what did I say, guys? Entry number 1 was this first gap. What was that? Look at that. Volume imbalance, right? So even though there's not a fair value gap, that volume balance is going to hold price. So liquidity sweep, we swept out the lows, we break this high. Volume balance is that first entry. Then we have an actual fair value gap. And now where are we drawing to? These equal highs, right? You see that. Volume balance, fair value gap, equal highs. And what is this as well? 1 minute change in state. Delivering from most likely a 15-minute fair value gap. That's my guess on what's going on right now. Once again, accumulation, manipulation. Seems like we're distributing. I should not have taken a trade in pre-market, clearly. But sometimes the thing is, the market, it's going to work. Sometimes those pre-market trades will deliver. And so I should just be more precautious about it. And I think very much considering that this is such a lower time frame thing, I should have been more precautious. Look at how this is just not as obvious as this. I mean, this is the part that's the toughest part about trading is, just not doing something dumb. So here's the first percent for ViGap. Looks like we probably won't even come back to it, right? We've inversed it. So now we're probably going to drop to these equal highs. So one thing I would consider is one minute for value gap here. Once again, I would expect this value gap to hold because it's a 2022 gap. So one thing I would consider is taking this as a sweep and then 5-minute change instead of delivery. That would be very, very nice. So what would that be, right? This would be a 1 minute 2022 gap. I don't know if we're gonna get it, but it would be kind of cool if we did, right? 1 minute 2022 gap. Once again, at this point I'm just practicing. I'm completely on demo because I took a loss and that's my own fault. But yeah, now we're just completely on demo and we're just getting more experience. So once again, accumulation. I would love it personally if the first percent for value gap is literally just chilling right here. How cool would it be if we IOFED'd it, if we tapped it, manipulated those lows, and then we just continue higher? So that's one thing I'm thinking is, you see how we react off the bottom? Now we might need to react off the top. So 5-second chart here, got really nice low resistance lows. I will honestly look for a 5-second chain state delivery, sweeping these lows. And I'm curious if this would have SMT. Okay, let's actually go. Let's go try it. Let's go try this on Tradeovate. Now, all right, there we go. So the change state of delivery would happen there. Okay, so this is what I would look for: is 5-second change state, and then what would this be? 8 coins. Let's go ahead and see if this ends up working out. Once again, this is exactly what I was saying, right? We manipulated into the first presented for value gap. Now will we get 5-second change state? Might even try limit order if we come on close above it. Once again, guys, just right now, I'm on demo because I did take a loss. So let's go ahead and see. Did you take a loss too, random guy? Oh man. Hey, dude, one day at a time, one day at a time. So I think this is gonna be clean, right? No pressure is the nice thing right now, right? So let's see. Okay, well,
Order filled.
I guess I took an early entry. Whoops. But we did end up getting it. Right? So why did I do that? Because accumulation, manipulation into the first presented for value gap, 5-second change of state. And you align the first presented for value gap with the 5-second change of state delivery. And so, as well, it was a giant 2022 for value gap. So now what I'm thinking is I take profit at each standard deviation all the way up. So let's go ahead and put our TPs in. This is so stupid, but I love it. Alright, TP1, 743. So there's TP1. Once again, there's literally no pressure, so I'm probably not even going to go break even until TP2. 760. Seven, 8.
Order filled.
795. I think I'll do 2 off at 795. Actually, I want to just try out each of the standard deviations just to try this. Eight, 18. Is that doesn't seem right. Okay, this should be at 800. And then this one should be at 71. Okay, that makes more sense. There we go. As long as I don't revenge trade, I'm good. Exactly. Dude, you're getting it. You're getting it. And then everything else just gets to be practice. Like, this is just totally practice for me. I mean, there's literally nothing wrong with just understanding that as long as you don't get upset and you don't keep going, just taking a step back and just, accepting you're just practicing. I mean, genuinely, you're just gonna get better in the long runs. It is really, that's the mindset you need to have. So, yeah, I'm curious how that goes, but one day at a time, one day at a time. Can't be too upset, man. We just gotta keep going. Nah, the thing, there's 5 of you guys watching. Nice. But hopefully you guys understand what I was doing, right? I tried taking a 2022 entry before market opened. So guys, everyone who's just now joining the stream is like, what the heck's going on? Here's what happened, right? We had a 15-minute gap right here. It was in discount of this displacement. So I had this marked out. I saw that we perfectly reacted off of this volume imbalance, and we got 15-minute CRT off of this. I was like, okay, cool. I feel like this is pretty strong conviction that we're gonna go drop to the CRT high. Once again, we sweep out this low. This is the CRT low. I was like, pretty strong conviction that we should drop to the CRT high. So I dropped down the lower time frame. Here's the issue, guys. This was in pre-market, and when you're in pre-market, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful and understand that, this is most likely gonna be used for what? Accumulation. So even though this was our 2022 gap on the 1 minute, so this is where I entered. I entered on this 2022 gap, overlapped with this 1 minute change state. Even though that was our 2022 gap, it was not in line with the reality of what the market wanted to do. The market was not ready to go around liquidity until we got the real Judas swing after market open, and that's why it's so important that a lot of time you want to wait till after market open. Should I have waited? Probably, but also I've seen trades work out that it can happen before market open, and so it's just one of those things where obviously I wish, I could be perfect, but I'm not. I'm human, and that's why I'm going to keep going to the markets every single day learning. And you can see that after we get the market open, the real Judas swing, right? We sweep this low. And then you can see all of this ends up being higher probability, right? We break this high. We get our 2022 gap here. That's our first one. Then we have our second 2022 gap right here. Check out that first benefit value gap right here. You can see how it gets back tested and filled. And that first benefit value gap ends up being a soup of this low here. So then on the lower time frame, with this 1 minute first presented for value gap. I align that with the 5 second, and we got 5 second change state delivery here. So I entered here on the close, and first DP has been hit. This is once again just a practice trade, but I think this is kind of cool where we're aligning it with the 5 second change state delivery. And you could maybe even enter more here, something I'd maybe consider doing. I think, yeah, there's really no downside. It's just practice, so I think I might try and enter more here, just for practice. Once again, 5 second change state. So, what? So, I guess 8 more.
Order filled.
Once again, this is just practice. So why did I buy more there? Well, we retested the 5 second change state delivery, which aligns with the first presented for value gap. So that was the first presented for value gap right here. We back tested it. So what was this? Accumulation. So this was accumulation. Here's that first presented for value gap. Let's actually mark it out like this. I'm gonna actually make a new template for this. Note how more orders got filled there. So I'm gonna make a new template. 1-P-V. Once again, guys, I'm just practicing right now, but first presented for value gap right here, accumulation, manipulation, 5 second change state delivery. I'm very interested to see how this goes. Alright, do you see what I'm doing? We had this original first presented for value gap. We end up back testing it. Thanks, man. Talk to you later, random guy. See ya. Sleep well. But yeah, right? Accumulation. Manipulation. So what else happened here? Inducement. You see the inducement? Accumulation, manipulation, 5-second change state delivery, inducement. Once again, guys, it is so much easier when you have nothing on the line. So first standard deviation, second standard deviation, third standard deviation, fourth standard deviation. Alright, so there we go. There's another TP hit. I think at this point you go break even.
Order filled.
So now I have 13. I guess I have 14? How the heck do I have 14? That math does not add up. I think I have to take profit with one more.
Order filled.
Yeah, I should only have 13. Wait, no, actually. I actually should have. I should have had 14. Whoops. Whoops. So there we go. Whatever. But you guys see what I'm seeing here, right? Accumulation, manipulation, first standard deviation, second standard deviation, and then third, and then fourth. To be honest, guys, I think we should bring some of these down a little bit. Three more there, 2, and then 2, and then 2, and then 2. I don't even want to target the 8th. I swear the 8th never gets hit. It's
Order
always
filled.
the 7th. The 7th is the one that gets hit. Don't ask me why. I don't know why.
Order filled.
So now I have 11 cons. About to have 10. Once again, this is on demo. Hopefully you guys realize that. Right. Do you guys see what I kind of did here, right? First presenter for value gap, 5-second change in state, inducement of that low, off of the first presenter for value gap, accumulation, manipulation. What is this? Distribution. Now, once again, this is on demo. Remember that, guys. Right now, I'm trading demo because I did try taking a 2022 for Raw Gap in the pre-market and got wrecked. But, you know, we're practicing now. We're practicing. And this is a very low time frame trade, which is why I would not normally take this on my real accounts. But sometimes low time frame trades, especially on a No News Monday, can be very, very lucrative because on a No News Monday, the market is not going to likely expand, so the lower time frame is going to be expanding, right? It's so much easier to trade when it's demo, dude. But then again, guys, like, also it's a No News Monday, so what can we expect? We can expect lower time frame trades to play out. That's kind of what I'm saying here, right? What I'm trying to get at. Yo, Coolest Kid. Just for your information, this is just a practice trade on demo right now. I'm not really. I took a trade. No. I'm in it on demo. It would be so cool if this was real. No. What I took for real was in the pre-market, and it was a loss, unfortunately. But whatever. I'm taking this for practice. It's crazy how your mindset will just totally shift once your mind realizes you're just kind of practicing. But yeah, what I was looking at with this is, well, I like the first presented for value gap sitting below this accumulation. So I watched just dip below it and then pop back above it. And I was like, dang, that's, that's a light bulb signature off of that first presented for value gap. So 5-second change in state off of the first presented for value gap. We end up retesting it, inducing that low. And once again, I don't normally take lower time frame trades on my real accounts. So this is not something I would normally take on my real accounts, but this is something that I'm observing for a demo trade.
Order filled.
To see how this would play out. Could I take this for real? Because I do think that these trades, especially on No News Mondays, lower time frame trades are going to be very lucrative because higher time frames less likely to expand, lower time frames probably running liquidity. So we just got filled another one. And I'm actually going to take 2 off here because
order filled.
Because genuinely, I don't know. I just feel like it. And then, yeah, the rest of them, I will just let it be. Because now I'll have 2 at each standard deviation. Whoops. All the way up to 7. Yeah, it's annoying, obviously. Like, I wish I could just be in it for real, but, it's so much harder to take it for real because, I mean, this is such a low time frame trade, right? And everyone else tells you don't mess with the lower time frame. The lower time frame, you don't know what you're doing. Bull crap, dude. Bull crap. Lower time frame works the exact same as the higher time frame. It's all fractal. And if anything, on a no news Monday, lower time frame trades are going to be even more lucrative because lower time frame is more likely to be running liquidity if the higher time frame is accumulating, right? So this is what I mean when I say ignore everyone. People don't know crap, or they do, and they're gatekeeping, right? But look at how precise this inducement was, by the way. Genuinely pretty cool. It's crazy what you can do when you have no pressure. Everyone gatekeeps, and it's just like, you know, you get to the point where you realize you just can't trust people, but it's okay. So once again, right, if the market has any common sense, it's gonna run all these highs. If the market has literally any common sense at all, it's going to go on a low resistance liquidity run and run through all those highs. And if it doesn't, then I think the market's broken because why would it not do that at this point? But guys, look at how precise 2022 model is, right? We sweep out the lows, Judas swing on market open. See this? Sweep. We sweep out the lows, Judas swing on market open. Right, here's the Judas swing. So, this is why a lot of times it's so important to wait till after market open to take your trade. So, where's Judas swing? I actually don't know if I have one for Judas swing. Okay, we're just gonna make a new one for it. Okay, so Judas swing. Right, and then now, after we break that high, once again, this was accumulation in the pre-market. Nice. That's awesome. Way to go. So accumulation, manipulation of that low. I'm actually going to make this dark. Right, you guys see how this is playing out? Judas swing. Judas swing 2, right? And now look at this, right? After we break this high right here, break of this high. I know this doesn't look like a gap, but from here to here, this is a gap. This is a gap, guys. Do you guys see how that's a gap? So here's the first gap that holds. Then we have, I'm actually just going to mark it out as our 2022 gap, right? From here to here. It doesn't look like your normal fair value gap, but that is a fair value gap. And it might even be a volume balance there. And then, what is this? Another one. So you can see how the market's just remembering these, right? Another one, right? The market remembering these. IOFED of that bottom one. Every single fair value gap supporting price on its way to its draw on liquidity, which is what, by the way? What's the draw on liquidity? What is the draw on liquidity? What could it possibly be? Asia and London. We just hit London. So next, Asia. Right, you just see what I'm seeing, and then also how we remember the first presented fair value gap. The market remembers that first presented fair value gap. Yeah, no, but here's the thing, guys. Captain, dude, I want you to realize that was on demo, right? I took that as just to show you like what was probably gonna happen next, but I tried to enter early in the pre-market and I got wrecked because of it. And so just understand that. I'm trying to think of what to say. Like, understand that. What am I trying to say? It looks like I just took that as a win, but that was on demo, right? And but I took it as just to show, like, here's what's probably gonna happen next. Bro, I was cooked in the first trade, but came back on that one. Nice. Yeah, I was done after that first trade. So once again, guys, I just shouldn't have traded in the pre-market today. Lesson learned. Obviously, I am a little sad about it, but whatever, dude. It's such a long-term thing. Do I really care? No. I don't care. It was in the pre-market. It was lower probability. Now my mental repertoire is going to remember, oh, wow, we got to break a structure in the pre-market. Who cares, right? In the future, I'm going to be like, who cares? It's the pre-market. Is this really the real distribution? No, it's not. Right? And so that's just something that it's going to be in my mental repertoire forever now. And observe how we backtest that. Why didn't I take that live? Because I already took a trade, and it was way earlier in the stream, and I took it during pre-market, and it was this 2022 gap here, and it lost. And I only take one trade a day. I mean, so this is what I do. If it's a win, ideally I'm done for the day. If it's a break even, I go again. If it's a loss, I'm done for the day for good. But if it's a win, I'm allowed to take up to one more trade. If it's a break even, I'm allowed to take up to one more trade, and then max 2 trades a day. That's how I go. So that's why I didn't take it. And the other reason I didn't take it is on live is because this is a lower time frame trade, and it's just something that I'm still getting better at. Because it's such a low. It was a 5-second trade off the first presented for value gap. But guys, I'm just trying to get better. So I'm gonna screenshot this. This is very, very, very cool. But yeah, I did take this in the pre-market, this 2022 for value gap. And why did it fail? It's a pre-market trade. It's lower probability. I mean, unless it's like really high conviction, just really try not to take trades in the pre-market, and lesson learned. Whatever. Do I care a lot more about not revenge trading and not tilting? Yes. I care way more about that. I care way, way more about that. Very nice buy model. So now, what else was this? No, dude. I don't. I think personally, in the long run, if I just take one high quality trade a day, that's gonna be more beneficial than trying to do 2 a day. I don't know. That's just what I think. I think in the long run, that's gonna just doing one, because when I take a loss, it means I'm out of tune with the market, right? Anytime you take a loss, in my opinion, there's a reason that you took the loss, because the market, in my opinion, is always right. And so if I take a loss, it means I'm out of tune with the market. If I take a win, I want to roll that energy forward and allow myself to take another trade. That's just how I am. And other people can disagree with that, but I just personally think that losing means I don't have my momentum with me. I'm not in my flow state, and I don't want to try and force it. So, I think we had S&T here too, with maybe YM. Oh wow, YM is dumping. YM is dumping. YM is dumping crazy. So what kind of trade even, like what was this a 5-minute 30-second model? Like what kind of model was this anyways? Wow, the market really does not want to run those highs. So, I would think it's a 5-minute. We have a 5-minute order block. So, this is probably what it was. 5-minute order block. That was our PD array. Because I don't see a fair value gap, but there was an order block there. 5-minute order block's the last down close candle before we start to move higher. and then 30-second change instead of delivery. And I think we hit consequent encroachment. Oh, so close. Not consequent encroachment, mean threshold. You know what I mean, though. So, 5-minute order block. 30-second change in state right here. And so, theoretically, this was the model, in my opinion, that happened. So you can see 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit. Now 4th may hit. Just kind of depends. C of the hourly wick. Very interesting. So I think based off of how the market is being like a little slug, I think that since this is, yeah, I know it's a demo trade, but even though it's a demo trade, I still want to observe the market conditions and take trades based off of what I think's best. And in this case, I think you gotta take some off. I think maybe just take all off at that 4th standard deviation. If we ever hit it. But it's also a possibility that we don't go hit it. So we'll see. Being a little I don't know. It's being something. Dodgy's really annoying. So Asia 772. I'm gonna just take the rest off there. Of this demo trade. So I'll do 5 off at Asia high if we ever hit it. And then the rest off of the 4th standard deviation if we ever hit it. I'm honestly going to trail to this low too. 782. This is demo, by the way. Just making sure people know, because people are going to be like, well, you just complain, they're just saying it's demo after you lose. It's like, no. I said it was demo the entire time. So once again, don't want to see this low get taken. Honestly, I don't even want to see this low get taken anymore. Once again, who is ruling the charts right now? The micro scalpers. So anyone who's taking 1 minute, 5 second trades. So even though Dodgy's out here tweeting, you can only like this tweet if you didn't take a trade today because you're a trader, not a gambler. Even though he's tweeting that, that does not mean that you can't trade today. That just means you have to understand the conditions and then trade respectively. So if I know the market's probably consolidating, I have to take like micro scalps. I have to, since at the higher time frame is consolidating, the lower time frame is running liquidity. The 5 seconds running liquidity. That's why I said, and we're gonna get trailed out here.
Stop filled.
So let's close out all those positions. So this looks kind of insane, and it's just a practice demo trade. But what happened, right, was we had this first center for value gap, 5 second change of state, back tested it twice, entered more, and we just did not have any momentum. But what like I was saying, right? What happened, right? We had, closed out everything. So if we go up now, I'm gonna be cheesed. So what happened? I was watching this first presented for value gap. Note how it's sitting below this accumulation and below this accumulation. So this is gonna be a really sensitive spot. Then 5 second change in state off of this. You can see how sensitive that was. Even on days like today where most people aren't finding trades, there's going to be micro scalps. Most people don't want you to know that, or don't tell you that, or are going to lie to you about it, or don't know. But I'm telling you, like on a No News Monday, there's still opportunity. It's just micro scalping. Like 30-second change or 5 second change of state, we induce this low, and then we just expand off of it. But once again, guys, I did take that loss. That was a 2022 gap right here, and it was in the pre-market. Should have been more careful. Pre-market's just, it's going to wreck you so much of the time. But yeah, first present for value gap, accumulation, manipulation, 5 second change of state. Oh well. We just got bearish S&T. So decent chance at this point that we go lower, because what is happening on the higher time frame? We're consolidating, so markets can run back through itself, right? So we could try another low time frame trade just for fun, right? Let's actually do that. Just more practice. Why not? If we get a trade, obviously. But I think, the more trades, more practice we get, the better. Even if it's not real. Even if it's just demo. It helps to get that practice. So what was I looking at? Well, we had bearish S&T here and here. So stacked S&Ts. Stacked S&T right there. And right here. Now everyone's been long all day. So who hasn't gone stopped out the longs? Market's moving slow. Yeah, we have 2 bearish S&Ts. We have a 1 hour rejection block. See if we have a 15-minute one. We have a 15-minute order block. I don't know. I'd kind of prefer us to hit the rejection block like this. And we might still end up hitting Asia. Once again, still bullish, right? We still might go run Asia, but we're definitely in a consolidation-ish type deal here. Oh dang, there's 6 of you guys watching. Let's go. So guys, let's go over what happened today, very specifically. Accumulation in the pre-market. Once again, I tried this 2022 gap. I got wrecked. Why? Because it was the pre-market. Should not be trying to take the 2022 model in the pre-market unless it's stupidly obvious. This was not obvious enough, right? Should not have taken the 2022 model in the pre-market. It was also a flow state, but once again, it was not obvious enough. I got what I deserved, right? I got wrecked. I'm not gonna give it post trade approval, unfortunately. I don't like that. I'm not going to, but I just don't think that was that good. Then, manipulation below these lows. You can see that happens right there. And then distribution, very small distribution, but nonetheless, we do get a very small distribution higher. 1, 2, 3, and you can see we stop at the third. So now it's pretty clear we're headed back towards whatever sell side wants to get hit. So 15-minute, we had this 15-minute order block. You can see how that held price here. We swept out this high with stacked SMTs. Once again, it's a lot easier to look at what happens in hindsight. I'm not saying that, it's not. It's obvious, but once again, how are we going to get better? We got to look at hindsight. So we had stacked SMTs, SMT there, SMT here, and then what aligns with the 15-minute, the 1 minute. Is PO3 valid in London? Please check it out. Yeah, PO3 is valid in London. PO3 is valid in everything. PO3 is just the market. PO3 is how the market moves. So yeah, stacked SMCs. Stacked SMCs. Manipulation above that high. 15-minute order block. And then we get 1 minute change in state here. So that could be a sell spot. Should we try it on demo? I guess. Just for practice. Might as well. Then again, guys, could we inverse this and then go up to Asia? Yes. And then I'd get wrecked. I think we should try this, though. One minute change in state. Just for practice. We might need to induce these highs. So I kind of want to just fade this inversion. I don't know. This is probably stupid. It's probably a good inverse for value gap, huh? I don't know. Yeah, it kind of looks decent. But then again, I like kind of fading the inverse for value gap sometimes because, yeah, you can see, there we go. 1 minute change of state. So I think let's just try it on demo. I don't know what. There's not really any harm to it. It's just, practice. I guess there is harm. There's harm if it teaches us to take bad trades, right? Which this is objectively probably not the best trade because we got low resistance, highs above. So let's just not do anything. But I am observing that, right? I'm observing that 1 minute change in state of delivery off of the 15-minute order block, and I'm curious if we're going to go lower off of it. And we had this displacement leg. So then we had a gap in premium. Now, if we inverse this to the upside, well, we'll probably be bullish. 2 minute needs to inverse here. Once again, though, we did have stacked SMTs, now a 2022 gap. Should we see if this is in the fair value gap partition? Whoops. I would not take this in on my real accounts or even on demo right now. But I just want to tape read to get practice. Interesting. Fair value gap's all the way up there. So almost seems like, yeah, almost seems like we went to this, which is seems like the breaker zone, and that's where a breaker was. So yeah. So maybe we could try a 5 second. Let's try a 5 second. 1 minute BPR, 5 second change state delivery. If we get a sweep of this low and then a 5 second change in state, I think this is a low time frame trade. We could just try because there's no downside. Okay. I want to see clear displacement, and then maybe I'll try. Once again, this is demo. Once again, I like 5-second change state of delivery trades when it's when it is No News Monday, because 5 seconds going to be running liquidity if the higher time frame is consolidating. Kind of in high resistant liquidity conditions, though, it's important to acknowledge that, like, all these are high resistant. Once again, what did I say, right? This was a fair value gap in premium of this displacement, but that wasn't in the fair value gap partition, so I'm skeptical. Now we are getting displacement. Okay. So, well, we might need to sweep it again. Okay, I think we should try this. If we get displacement. Alright.
Order filled.
This is just on demo. Once again, demo. I'm not taking this for real. This is demo. See?
Stop filled.
So, it's a little fun little experiment, but that did not work at all. Right? And once again, it kind of makes sense. We're within high resistant liquidity conditions. So, and this is just, yeah, it's just not ideal price action. Once again, we have stacked S&Ps, and we had that order block. So this is what I was saying, is this initial trade where we have the 1 minute change instead of delivery, this could deliver us lower. And yeah, you can see that's exactly what's happening, right? 1 minute change instead of delivery, 15-minute order block. That was our higher time frame PD array. That, see, yeah, that makes, I wasn't super sure, but now in the hindsight, it's very clear that that's what's happening. 15-minute order block. Stacked S&Ts. and then 1 minute changes date. And we're delivering lower off of, honestly, both of these. So just a thought, right? Um, 9 minutes left. Honestly, I'm at the point where I'm just getting so tired. But yeah, now I'm interested to see. Okay, and also look back. We back test OT. So, will we hit first, second, maybe third and fourth? Another possibility is you could enter at the change state, but the market's just not favorable right now, so it's not like that's something I'd really want to do. I'm so tired. Should not have taken that trade. It's tough. It's so tough. It's tough. Well, there's going to be a good market recap today. 6 minutes left. I'm tired. Is there actually 60 still watching? That's crazy. Yeah, guys, took a loss, but it was because I took a 2022 model in the pre-market when it was obviously we hadn't had the Judas swing yet. I kind of got what I deserved. Like, let's be real. Now, yeah, once again, am I disappointed? Yes, but one day at a time, guys. One day at a time. But did we take a pretty cool demo trade? Yeah, we did. We took a very cool demo trade that ended up hitting like 2 or 3R. Once again, guys, like I said, the lower time frame on a no news Monday is sometimes the most lucrative you'll get. I'm actually curious. What might be really interesting is I wonder. I know Haney said that the 30-second first presented for value gap is not a thing, but we should at least look, right? What if the 30-second first presented for value gap is a thing? Because if it is, maybe it could be valuable to us, right? 30-second first presented for value gap. Maybe align it with the 1 second. Yeah, no, not super. I don't think you can align it with the. You'd have to get the 2.5 second. I don't think that works. Um. Well, it actually might work. It's something we're gonna have to look at in the future. But yeah, definitely a more difficult day. And a day you'd probably just want to be conservative and sidelined. Man, I'm tired. But yeah, you can see these bearish SMTs that we had a while ago. They are moving price lower. And then we have that 1 minute changes to the delivery. It's also moving price lower. And this gap and premium of this displacement as a third thing that's moving price lower. So this is what's so valuable about the 2022 model is this is such a simple, such a trade that is so subtle. It is such a subtle trade. But at the same time, this is already at 2.5 R. Very, very subtle, but what happened here, right? We got a sweep of these highs. It's so subtle. Like, most people will never see trades like this, but sweep of these highs, stacked S&Ts. Now, I think we hit that 15-minute order block, right? So, super, super subtle, but stacked S&Ts, 15-minute order block, and then we get displacement, breaking this old low. So, very clear that this is a market structure shift, or break a structure, or whatever you want to call it. At which point, we have displacement. So, measure out the displacement from premium to discount. Oh, wow. That fair value gap is very nicely placed in premium. And, yeah, I mean, now, is it necessarily the highest probability trade? I will admit, no. Like, I would not bet my money on that. But then again, right? Did it deliver high RR and was it super subtle? Yes. And so that's where it's just like, bro, I added a rule in my journal that prevents me to trade the last minutes of pre-market. I love that. I might... See, I would add that, but there are times where you just kind of have to use common sense. And there are times, like, I remember there was this one 3-minute inversion like a month or two ago, and it was like super, super light bulb, super obvious market open was gonna deliver us higher, and it ended up hitting like crazy RR. And so I think, just have that rule, but also use common sense. Like, sometimes it can be permissible, but today it was obviously not permissible because this is obviously consolidation. This is obviously consolidation. I personally think it's okay to take a trade in the pre-market, but I think more or less the trade was just a bad trade. Like, this was just a bad trade because this is not obvious enough. This is not obvious that we're gonna go run liquidity. Yeah, it's more or less just a bad trade, and I don't think it has to do that much with the pre-market thing. Besides the fact that would have been additional confluence not to take this because we would have another confluence saying this is accumulating. Yeah, it's just context. Context is everything, and as you get better at trading, you're gonna get more. It's gonna become more and more intuition. And for me, I was off today, but good thing I have my rule where I say I'm only gonna take one trade and be done, and then we move on. So. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, sweep, break of structure, gap. Very subtle. Most people will never see this trade ever, but I'm just showing you that it's out there, it's existing. And then we also hit consequent encroachment, and that's a 3.6 to 1. Yeah, this is what I mean when I say trading is just taking trades, accepting risk, and accepting the outcome. And this was just not a good enough trade. Not quite good enough. And yeah, whatever. So now, 8:30. Oh, it's 11:12. Okay, I'm gonna get off the charts. Yeah. Consolidation, it's not even worth looking at, guys. I'm going to get off. I'll see you guys next time. And we're going to keep going. Peace out.